will kill ELO here too. But while we're recording, so the pressure's on, so I should stop this. I wonder if you can hear this in the recording. Okay, so I have just a very quick BB edit document here that I've set up with, with my HTML. I need to put a head in here. And some style here. I'm going to go get my Bootstrap link, right? That's the first obvious thing. Go to get started. Get started, there we go. Grab the link code here to the CSS. Hop back over here. I'm gonna wrap the top, soft wrap here, so okay. So I've got style sheet. So if I were to save this right now, oops. In the documents folder. I got this menu. You can tell, again, you can tell that I've got Bootstrap working because it's in Helvetica, right? So I know, and it's also, there's no margin here and no padding, which normally there would be, this would be Times New Roman, right? So you've got this, but the tabs aren't working, so something's wrong. And the reason for that is that I haven't made my my div container, right? I like container fluid, but that's not a requirement. And then I'm going to close my div down here. Interesting. So class active, nav pills, container fluid. So it doesn't seem to be happy here. Close that. Close that. So let's try it, see what we get here. Title, viewport. Okay, so so we talked about viewport a little bit. I just want to kind of reiterate here. So this viewport initial scale, this is really for a mobile device. An initial scale just means that it's gonna, that whatever the content is, it's gonna fill your screen. So like I said, and I said this before, is a lot of times you'll hit this website and see tiny, tiny text and lots of white space. This kind of solves that, this viewport. So again, just in your mind, just associate the word viewport with mobile. And so if you're setting up for mobile, just Google mobile viewport HTML, and you'll find this code. So it gives you a starting point. Got a style sheet to Bootstrap. This is to 3.37. They're on 4 right now, so that could be an issue. Because I just downloaded the 4 style sheet and I'm using 3 code, so I might have a problem there, mismatch. Because I'm on W3 Schools getting my example instead of on Bootstrap. Just a warning to you guys. And so then I've got my container, I've got my pills, nav pills, all right there. So this all looks right. It looks like what I did, but it's using the later Bootstrap. So let's just go and look here. Go ahead.
The other Bootstrap has nav-link as all of the classes and nav item for the LIs.
Oh, well, just like this, you mean? Yeah, and that's what I thought. So their example on the other page was not, well, no, here it is. Nav pills.
The LIs have class nav items and the A's have class nav link.
Yeah, where?
In LI?
Here?
Yeah, in the new one.
Right, in the new version, right, which is where I kind of just popped over here to nav pills. And yeah, LI class nav item. And then it'll probably has a nav item active if you want it to be, yep, right there. No, nav link active. So this is the code I want to steal. So stick with, I guess my lesson I just learned from this and immortalized it in video is go to the latest version of Bootstrap and use the examples there. Don't use other examples. And that's going to be your trouble anywhere, any time, But I want to change the battery in a 1972 Honda, not in a 1975 Honda, right? See what I'm saying? Is that a bad example? Okay, so I'm going to kill this. This. So class, let's just walk through this. So it's a UL. My class is a nav, and then the subclass is nav pills, and then each of these list items is a nav item, and then I have a link, and it's a nav link. And so it's basically just acting like it's supposed to act to get this, and there it is. But here's the trick. So you guys got that big deal, right? That's not the assignment. The assignment is make them green, make the border, make them look, kind of semi-cool. So if I go back to those design and resources, and look at the PDF, pregnant pause, come on. All right, you're coming. There it is. Okay, so we want to get to this, right? We want to get to these little canted, outlined, green, embossed, or beveled, I guess you'd call that, squares. So that's what I'm going to show you next, is how to get from this over here to that. So really, and this is the skill. This is it. This is the skill that you will use the most in your going forward in web design. You guys are like, yeah, I've already decided I'm not going to be working as a web designer. I'm going to be working as a print designer because you have killed all of the joy for design from me for the rest of my life. Am I wrong? Yeah, we'll see what kind of grade I get. See if I can find a good programmer to completely leech off of for the rest of the semester, the rest of the school year. Did I immortalize that on video too? I'm not leeching off. You're not leeching off. You're using the resources that are available to you, right? That is a good business plan, is what that is. Exactly. So this is it. I mean, what you end up doing is you end up right-clicking on things and seeing what. I mean, of course, I have the code, but you'll do this in WordPress over and over and over again. You'll click on a element that you want to modify, and you will say inspect, and it will hop over here to it and say, oh, it's an anchor tag, perfect. It's a nav link, cool, and it's got an href there. Okay, great. So if I go back to my CSS, and I put some style tags in here, and you guys are going to definitely want to link to a style sheet, your own style sheet here. Again, I'm just doing this because for the sake of speed. So if I say a dot nav dash link, I'm going to address that. And so again, this is a learned syntax, but what I'm saying is an anchor tag, no space, that has the class of nav link. If I did this, I would say an anchor tag that contains an element with the class of nav link. You follow? So if it's within the anchor tag and it happens an anchor tag with a class of nav link, there's no space there. So again, this is a practice thing. You just have to practice and kind of learn the syntax. But I'm going to just say, okay, well, what do I want it to look like? Well, I want it to be white, and I want it to have a text I want it to be all caps, and I want it to be, usually I'll maybe impact, or maybe it looks like a Helvetica narrow. I'm going to say impact, and then we'll go from there. So if I say font, family, quote, impact. And of course I can do other ones. Arial, if it's narrow, and then say sans. Right, so I've got font family, multiple fonts, so I have failovers, right? If the user doesn't have impact, and they don't have Arial narrow, they'll have sans because that's guaranteed. And then I can say, I'm not going to make this, well, I'll make it background white, or background green. This will be the wrong green. You actually need to go and get Photoshop and do a sample on the image, on the code. You guys know how to do that? Have you done that? Do a screen grab, and then open it in Photoshop, and then just roll your little eyedropper over it. Say again? BEF259, I'll take it. BEF259. And then the color will be white. Boom. Oops. Wow, that was quick. Notice disabled. If I come down to disabled, it's navlink disabled. And so, and again, this is kind of cool because, order of operation, right? I assigned it the A navlink, right? I assigned white text. Well, disabled came along and overrode it. So I'm going to show you another trick, and this is something that I don't want you to use a lot, but you can override things by using the exclamation over important. I've kind of shown you that before, but it's kind of using a hammer. Yeah, I would prefer that you change. You should prefer to actually change the style. To actually set the style. Don't override it. But sometimes you can't. Sometimes you just can't figure it out. I don't know how much I should go on here about text, outline, CSS. So there's a lot of good CSS tricks here, but if I scroll down here, there's an outline text. There's an outline text. So there's code out there that you can find. So this isn't quite right yet, but it's, I'm already pretty close, pretty quickly. I think there is actually, I don't know if there's a force to upper. I think there is. Font variant, is that right? CSS uppercase. Text transform. We've already learned how to rotate stuff, right? We had the drawing assignment, so it's it's transform, right, or web transform, web. Anyways, rotate text is what you'll Google. So the hard thing, always the hard thing, is learning what to target. So I targeted the class, all of my background and everything. I didn't touch the class nav item. I didn't touch the class UL or nav pills. I do need some space between these, so I do need to go nav item and give a little bit of margin. So if I go dot nav item, say, give me a little margin left 5 pixels. And you can fix, the width on these. What did we do here? Did we fix the width on these things? Looks like we did, yeah. So it looks like the width on these are fixed. So I can say, I don't know, 200 pixels. Yeah. So active is the same deal. It's if I come back here to this active, thank you. If I come back here to this class, I styled nav link, but there's an active class buried somewhere, and that's actually kind of cool because you can. I mean, it's nice to know what link you're on the web page. So I can just come back and say, you know, look, if it's this, I'll just copy this. But it's also .active, then, you know, didn't work. So nav link active. Huh. This is where it pays off to background color. Color is white. Oh, now, okay. Nope. Well, again, you can always use a hammer.
Yeah, for a minute I thought it was just like for some reason it was selected,
Yeah, I mean, no, it's not, and I mean that's the way it's designed to look that way. So you can design, you can build that design in.
but it wasn't intentional.
Right, and I mean it is intentional. Let me put it this way: it is intentional from Bootstrap's point of view, and saying, look, this is an option for you to make your active link active, right? But that's about it. I'm gonna, there's a whole, of course I can go crazy, keep styling this. I can say text align, center, rotate it, put some space here. They're too far apart. Put some drop shadow on the boxes. There is, like, say, go out and just Google bevel and emboss CSS, and you'll find like tricks to give you that embossed look. Right. So it's a board. Right. There are border tricks in that. Yeah, you can do the same color borders, or text, like say text shadow can do it as well. I think. I'm sorry, box shadow can do it as well. But that's it. What am I going to do? This is the important thing here. Is what am I going to do once I'm happy with this? I am going to take this page. I'm going to open my CSS, my CSUMB assignment for lolcats, and I'm going to go into my LOL bootstraps folder, and I'm going to go, oops, there it is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'm going to say index, I'm going to say about. So you get the point. I mean, I'm going to make my template. I'm going to, have this. I'm going to have a container fluid. Every page is going to have a container fluid. Every page is going to have a nav bar. Every page is going to have a footer. Every page is going to have a header. So you work on that first, and then it's suddenly, after all that work, you've done, like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pages by doing one page, and you built this template. And then it's just like, okay, well, really, all I've got to do is that main content area and the sidebar and the top, and that's that.
But you only have literally 3 designs.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then just get paid for the rest.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's one template for the outside, but like I said, just definitely, I'm just trying to commit you to work smart, copy paste, and make a lot of progress. Any other questions on this, on the menu and the header? I normally make you guys. I'm giving you guys a little bit of slack here because we'll probably do some more fun stuff with WordPress because that's more important to you guys. The lolcats header, you know, with the two images on the side and where it says lolcats. Normally, I make you do that in CSS, and you can, right? There's some tricks there if you're using the grid and to get the background images right. But think about it's like, well, what's going to happen if that thing scales? If it's in CSS, it's going to scale much better, and you can also swap that image out if you go to, to mobile, and you only have a screen that's this wide. You can swap that image out for a different image. There's lots of tricks you can play with CSS. So now that you've heard that lecture, you don't have to do it. Okay. So you can just put the image in there as a header image and go with that. But it breaks my rule for if it's text, it should be CSS. It should be styled in CSS.
I had a quick question.
Yeah.
Do you want us to make it look a certain way for when it's on our mobile phones, or do you not care about that?
If you do it well and you do it right, it should just that's the beauty of Bootstrap. It should do its thing.
Yeah.
So the breaks should happen, and you're going to tell. I mean, and not just me. I will grab the corner of that browser and slide it over and resize it to see how it looks in mobile, because that's really, So my buddy does what I do. He's actually in Boy Scouts. He's the committee chair. So he and I are like this in Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
He does this job in his own business on the peninsula for mid-range. And I wanted to talk. I'm going to stop the video. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.